was really, really shocking to me that the Bengals would give up pick number 10. I think that's a really good move for the Giants because you saw a drop-off in Lawrence's play from a year ago, and now the Giants get another top 10 pick, so they have picks 5 and 10. And how they utilize those picks is now going to be a main focus. That will affect the Buccaneers, who are sitting there at 15. Like, the Bengals were probably going to go with another defensive player, although they have attacked the defensive side of the ball aggressively this offseason with Boye Mafe. And now they trade for Sexy Dexy, Dexter Lawrence. They signed Brian Cook, the safety from the Chiefs. So they have attacked this offseason in a way that you haven't seen the Bengals attack anything in the offseason when it comes to spending money. So I thought that was an interesting move. And then apparently we're getting news that A.J. Brown will most likely be traded, and this will go down after June the 1st because of the salary cap and the dead money hit, which is less prohibitive to the Eagles if they trade him to the Patriots, which is not a shock, after June the 1st. So we'll find out what that looks like. And all this will affect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are sitting, again, I hate to belabor this point, but you're in no man's land if you're 15. Who's going to be there? Like the guy that drops the 15 or whoever's going to be there, you want to minimize risk, okay? And it seems like the guys who are going to be there at 15 are guys who have probably a major ding to them. Akeem Mesidor is 25 going on 26. Could he come in and help you right away? Probably. But when I take a guy in the first round, I want to take a guy that I know is going to be there for 8, 9, 10 years. Can you say that about Mesidor? I don't think so. Keldrick Falk is this big, hulking edge guy out of Auburn. He's young. He's 275, 280 pounds. And then you look at his production, and it wasn't there. He's like the close but no cigar guy. I think we've had a couple of those guys around here. But he's got a great physique. He looks the part. I don't know, yeah. Cassius Howell, short arms, edge rusher. So every guy that you're thinking about, if you're the Buccaneers, has some sort of major ding or major negative working against them. Again, the solution for me is trade down. I think T.J. Parker, the edge out of Clemson, if you're trading down into the 20s, maybe the Steelers think about moving up. Who knows? There are so many draft day scenarios that will unfold that will surprise you. All these teams, and you're seeing a lot of these reports, they're not going to openly come out and tell you what they're doing on draft day. That's what makes the draft so much fun. So intriguing. And the Bucs are sitting there hoping that somebody rings their phone and decides that they want to come up to 15. Jason Lai would be like, okay, if I can get an extra 2 or 3, a day 2 pick, I'll do it. And if you move down, that would make a guy like T.J. Parker, who I think is a very clean prospect against the run, against the pass. He's been very productive, went to the Senior Bowl, he dominated. You want an edge rusher? You move back into the 20s, I think he would be the guy. By the way, keep an eye on this, and I know we'll get to the phones in a matter of seconds. Hold on, guys. I just want to get this one thought out there because you're seeing a lot of rumors. I saw an interesting report out of Charles Robinson out of Yahoo that the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, by the way, pick in the low 20s, where are they at, 21? We're going to talk to our guy, John Ledger. When is he coming on, Chris Matt? Is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 4:05.
So John Ledger is very close to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's up in that neck of the woods. Pittsburgh, they haven't gotten an answer yet from Aaron Rodgers. They're picking 21. Could they maybe try and move up in front of the Jets for Ty Simpson if that's the direction they want to go in? But the Pittsburgh Steelers have an interesting problem, which could be of interest to the Buccaneers. They have T.J. Watt on a huge contract. And then you've got 2 other edge guys in Alonzo Highsmith and Nate Herbig. Herbig is a guy who, with a lot of upside, who hasn't gotten paid yet, but he will. He has shown a lot of flashes. So it appears that the Steelers, according to Charles Robinson of Yahoo, might consider dealing either Highsmith or Herbig. So if I'm Jason Light, I'm on the phone with Pittsburgh. I'm on the phone with Minnesota about Jonathan Grenard. These guys are not going to cost you a first-rounder. These guys might cost you a day 2 pick. Kayvon Thibodeau, I would say the same thing, but the Giants just traded Dexter Lawrence. I saw Ian Rappaport. He put it out there that the Giants now are less likely to trade Thibodeau, who is entering the last year, a 5th-year option. He makes $15 million this year. So any of these guys that you trade for, these edge rushers, whether it's Thibodeau or Grenard or Alonzo Highsmith, you better be ready to give up a second or a third and take on a lot more money. And this is very important because you got Vita Vea in a contract year, Yaya Diaby in a contract year, and oh, by the way, your starting quarterback, Baker Mayfield, in a contract year. And he might be looking at 50 bills.
You're just trying to stir shit up.
Listen, Baker, happy birthday, by the way, last week. Not trying to stir anything up, but yes, you should get paid. And how the Buccaneers handle Baker Mayfield's going to be very interesting in the weeks to come. A lot to think about with the draft, man. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. All right, take some phone calls. A lot of disgruntled Lightning fans out there. Let's go to Adam in Trinity. Adam, good afternoon on this Overreaction Monday.
Hey, so I was just going back and looking at a lot of the games when we played specifically against Montreal. And, you know, for whatever reason, Montreal does a really good job of making the Lightning. I mean, to me, it's a attention to detail issue, but Montreal, they do a good job of making us turn it over in our own zone, and they make us pay for it. So the Lightning, I think, just need to be a little more detail-oriented. And in all the games that Vazzy has played this year against Montreal, he's averaging goals against like 3.5, 4. So he needs to step up somehow with that. And you're right, though. You can't be living in the penalty box. I mean, it's just crazy if you're going to try to win a playoff series with that. And then being that said, I'm going tomorrow night. I hope the Lightning, I'm sure we'll come back and win the series. I think we'll win it in 6. God forbid if we don't win it, at least we'll lose to Marty, who, in my opinion, has the biggest goal in the franchise's history, because if there's no Game 6 overtime goal, there's no Game 7, and we don't win the first cup. So that was my opinion, Tom. I hope you have a good day.
Well, thank you, Adam. And you're right about Game 6 overtime. I remember being out at a place, and when he scored that overtime goal, that was an unbelievable moment back in 2004, Game 6 at Calgary to send it back to Tampa. Of course, Game 7, Ruslan Fedotenko. I was there. I was in the locker room. One of the highlights of my hideous career is being there and in the locker room for the Stanley Cup. It was not hideous. It was actually great for that Stanley Cup celebration. Got to stay out of the box, man. Montreal is ultra aggressive. They got a lot of speed. But the Lightning have more depth, and they are way too experienced to be making the kind of mistakes that they made last night. That was the part of it that really irritated me. Let's go to Ted down in beautiful Bradenton. Ted, what say you, buddy?
Hey, Tom. How are you doing? Always good to hear.
Great.
I'll keep it quick, but yeah, I know. Penalties, yeah. You know when that happens? When you're too slow. When you can't skate stride for stride with a faster team, those are the types of penalties you see. Sorelli dragging a guy down, locking arms with him, and then looking up at the scoreboard like he's shocked that they called a penalty on that one. And the Jake Getzel penalty, I mean, that's pure frustration and total lack of concentration. All right? Those are two things. The other thing, Braden Point, he's disappeared.
Yes.
The last 3 playoff years. He is not a factor whatsoever. And that's a problem, and it's putting all of the pressure on Kucherov, as we know. There's no other scary point for the opposing team. Vasilevsky, Tom, when you're a 6'4" goalie with his type of speed, skill, you don't keep making yourself small. You don't keep dropping to the ice and giving teams the upper half of the net. He did it on the first goal, and he did it on the last goal. There is no reason to do that and give the shooter the advantage when you're of his size and his quickness. He keeps doing that, and that is you can't do that. And if he doesn't play better, forget it. The other thing, Victor Hedman, he's our captain. I know whatever the situation is, he's not there. He's not there. You don't have your captain. You don't have your linchpin on defense. This defensive core is not leading us anywhere through these playoffs.
I'm not counting, and I appreciate the call.
I'm just trying to look at it rationally.
And I get you, and I agree with some of the points that you made, and I appreciate the call, Ted. I'm not relying on Victor Hedman, and I know he's kind of rejoined the team, and he's skating with them a little bit. I wouldn't expect him back for Game 2. I don't know if they go up to Montreal, if he's going to be available. He's been away for weeks. Weeks. Dominic James was supposed to be out 8 to 10 weeks. He came back early, and on his first shift, he ends up getting tied up with another Montreal player, and then down he goes. Same right leg, same injury, the same one that was operated on. So they lost Dastul, and then Dominic James goes down. He was able to come back, but he didn't quite look the same either. You know, they did beat Vasi up high in a couple of goals, but there was one that went right through his wickets as well. So he got beat up low, he got beat up high. Not one of his finer performances, especially when you consider Montreal had 19 shots on goal, and they scored 4 of them, on 4 of them. And 14 of the 19 were considered A or B, like high-quality type of looks. That's efficiency right there. JC's in Tampa, then we got a break. JC, what's going on?
Man, Tommy, great opening and also 2 good phone calls right there. I'll try and add something to it. On my notes I'm looking at, I'm going to say Slavkovsky, the way opponents guard Cooch, we need to be on him. We should have known that with 7 goals in 5 games. He was wide open. I thought we had a penalty kill, 3rd in the freaking nation, and it's getting burned, as you said. And then also the quality scoring chances. Well, all right, there's a gulf of space. We only gave them 19 shots. Let's start there. That's a good number on defense in general. Then you go to the second layer, and most of those shots, like you said, Tom, were high-quality scoring chances. There's a gulf of space between the defenders and Vasi. I'm down on Vasi when it calls for it. You may be right. I think he was let out to dry a little bit, and I think our defense used to be better. I don't know if it's, Chernak was laying down more or McDonough was laying down more. Our defense was not that impressive, even though it was 19 shots. I mean, just seems like a lot of those tight scoring shots that, of course, Slavkovsky made 3 of them, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
My bottom line is, Tommy, chime in on this because your monologue was on point, and so were those 2 phone calls. I'm concerned that I'm going to go this way. I'm concerned that Marty, 5'8", 190-pound Marty, who used to pull truck tires with a band around his waist while he would exercise, this guy, was a bull, and he knows us, and he has a bull mentality. He knows us like probably as well as Cooper knows us, I'm going to say, and I'm sorry, I don't think Cooper ever pulled a tractor tire. So what? But my point is the mentality here and who's got to step up. And I'm very concerned. This team's been out 3 times in a row in the first round, and I don't want to have to play this guy, but damn it, everybody in the world says we're better on paper, we're better in this category, better in that category, and it might be true, but you know what? The intangibles and that open gulf in front of the Vasi has got to stop. And also, I'm all about Jeff Vinnick, but how much he's involved, I don't know. But these wristbands, I'm sorry, let me just go here. The wristbands and the Oregon playing his little Oregon thing, like a birthday party Oregon after they score a goal. Can we please get some marketing involved to match that opening video, which is phenomenal? But give me something besides the wristband, because each time in these last 3 years, we got to change up the marketing. Let's get a different feel in this place. And we have half-season tickets, and believe me, I know I can't stand this theme that's going on. We got to do something to break this mold, and I appreciate the time, Tommy. These calls in your monologue were really on point.
Thank you, JC, very much. I think the Lightning game day experience is second to none. I think they do an incredible job there. They do. So I don't think that's the reason why the Lightning are in the predicament that they're in. But now there's a lot of pressure. We'll find out how they respond to pressure tomorrow night. By the way, we will be there tomorrow night. The Drive will be live over at Benchmark International Arena beginning at 2 o'clock. Maybe they'll let me in. I don't know. We'll find out. Tomorrow night from 2 to 5:30, we'll be live at Benchmark International Arena. We'll get some guests lined up. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great atmosphere tomorrow night. Need a big Lightning response. 888-388-0957. Text at 82945. The good, the bad, and the ugly. A little bit later on, you saw a little bit from all three in the Lightning game last night. You saw a little bit of all three from the Rays on this most recent road trip. Speaking of the Rays, when we come back, news about them on the field, but the one thing that stood out to me more than anything while I was off the last couple of days, and I was startled, to say the least, about one comment that I heard, and you better be paying attention, Tampa Bay. I'll tell you about it next.
You're tuned in to The Drive with TKras.
Whether it's an injury, accident, product liability, medical malpractice, if you or someone you love happen to be the victim of somebody else's negligence, the way I was a couple of years ago, my injury accident, you got to do what I did. Call Catania and Catania, the personal injury law firm that's been doing their thing for the last 30 years here in Tampa Bay. So their experience, they're also successful. Almost $1 billion has been collected over the years. They did a great job with my case, best possible outcome. They could do the same for you. So protect your rights. These are the guys you need to call. Get a free evaluation of your case now at 813-222-8545. Tell them I sent you. Go online as well, CataniaandCatania.com, where they put families first.